Hi, everybody. David here, and we've come to the end of Module 1. At the end of each module, I'll provide a summary of some of the key points. I want to begin this review by thanking you for being a part of this program. What I've sought to do with A Year of Belonging is to collect some of the best practices that I've experienced with professionals like yourselves through 35 years of doing this work. And when I call them best practice, I mean the ideas, the skills, the conversations that people really resonated with. Things that they reflected on, they used with their students, and they used with their colleagues. So here's the review for Module 1. This module focused on emotional safety. And we started out with the idea of creating and exploring the 4 emotional needs: belonging, power, freedom, and fun. And I present these as a grounding set of ideas because it really is the blueprint for emotional safety. Belonging, affiliation, connection. It's an emotional need. And when we can create the conditions for belonging, that is the goal. Power means I'm good at something, competence. When we can celebrate the skills, the gifts, the passion that children hold, highlight them, support them, in articulating them, that meets the emotional need for power. The third emotional need, as we've explored, is freedom. And that means that the student feels free to express what he, she, or they think about these ideas. Freedom means to give voice. What do you think? How do you feel? What do you need? That is an emotional need. And the fourth one is fun. And that means to be engaged in the learning experience, and to be engaged in healthy relationships. You put these 4 together, belonging, power, freedom, and fun, and that is what we call the blueprint for emotional safety. I extended the idea for the blueprint by providing you with a very concrete tool that I call the emotional mapping process, one that you could use individually or one that you could use with your colleagues. And emotional mapping was co-created with a group of school psychologists a number of years ago during a summer institute. But lately, as I've been reflecting on the creation of this module, it came to me that an emotional map is kind of like having a lock, a combination lock, and left, right, and each time we turn it, we're turning left, belonging, click, right, power, click, left, freedom, that one's stuck, that one's sticking. What can we do to make this flow? And once we get that flow going, we turn it right for fun, we unlock it, we establish rapport, we're creating the conditions for emotional safety, and we're facilitating motivation on the part of the student. Another process that we looked at, a very concrete practice, is the community meeting. And I presented you with the community meeting as an open forum where students can share their thoughts, their feelings, or their ideas. And when people listen to one another and are honored for their ideas, that creates community. I also provided you with some variations, the circle of belonging, the talking council with a talking piece. It doesn't matter what you call it, but the process is what's most critical. And finally, a very concrete practice to use with your students was music dialogue. And music dialogue is my version of dialogue to bring a group of people together and explore an issue that's important to them. And I presented music as the pathway into doing that, while also identifying that there are many ways that you can use that resonate with you. In addition to music, you can use poetry, you can use a page from a story, you can read a picture book, you can look at current events, something happening in the world today. That's the entry point. As long as there's relevance and as long as it stimulates the students and creates fun, which is to be engaged, now you can enter into dialogue. I presented music dialogue. The process of music dialogue evolved for me out of the song Howard Gray. I had all of us listen to that song in the introduction to ground us, to get out of our head and move into our heart. That social and emotional learning and belonging is really a heart pathway. And the skills are heart skills. As you listened to that song, Howard Gray, it probably brought up a lot of memories for you. what we call emotional memories. And the key point here is that emotion is learning. Emotion drives one's behaviors, and emotions can move us into action. We can become change agents with passion when we are moved from our emotions. We can become change agents for our students in our classrooms, in our schools, and in our communities. And that's an overarching goal of the School of Belonging. So with all of this review, I'll close for now. I want to say thank you once again for taking part in this program. The next module is called Naming the World. And in that module, I will bring to life the quote from Paulo Freire, who once said, "That which is unnamed is invisible, and a teacher's job is to name the world."